Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the daily collective message for April the 21st. Keep in mind, timing and energy is still fluid. This reading could play out today or over the next several days. This reading may or may not be for you, so I do ask that you only take with you the messages that resonate and leave behind the rest. This reading is also not sign specific, but I will call out any zodiac signs that I do feel need mentioning throughout the reading. I do want to talk about the very pessimistic energy that I feel collectively this morning. It's very low vibration, very, very pessimistic coming through. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to jump on and channel the energies because it is so low vibration today. And I do feel that's in due fact to the issue of Saturn square the North Node. So Saturn rules our mental conditioning, the way we were taught and the way we were brought up into the world, and it is also associated with restrictions and limitations. So Saturn is also associated to structure and order in our lives. So I think we're all kind of being asked to look at our boundaries, our responsibilities, and our commitments, especially with this Taurus energy. It's all about accountability. And you know, I also feel the Saturn aspects when it comes to the astrology are associated with a father figure. So, you know, many of us have a father wound when it comes to our upbringing. I know for myself personally, my father did not know how to love properly, you know, and in essence, now in my adulthood, I don't have a relationship with my father at all. It's been several years that I've even had a relationship with him. So there's like this void energy coming through is kind of what it felt like this morning. And I feel a lot of strict lessons are coming up to be addressed, especially when it comes to some past patterns, childhood patterns, the way we were brought up, and shifting our mindset in the energies. So I feel the energy really is asking us all to kind of grow through any challenges. And I feel get ready for revelations when it comes to any limitations in your life, any fear-based energy, and where you've lacked responsibility for past actions. And when we're working with the lunar nodes, it's always related to subconscious motivations. The South Node is our subconscious motivations that stem from past life energy. And, you know, so many of us cling to our comfort zone, which really is no longer relevant or appropriate if we are to kind of expand beyond that stuckness. And the North Node represents, you know, our true karmic pathway this lifetime, where we need to step into, you know, conscious motivations that are relevant to these future energies and the future timelines that we're here to manifest. So there's going to be an unfoldment of changes in the energies today, and likely with your personal psychology. And we've been working on these aspects for the last several years, and this really is a significant time frame globally, collectively, astrologically speaking. And we're all kind of being asked to look at where we've skipped steps, where we've skipped and struggled to complete and learn a lesson from our past life. And it's like this very forceful energy that we kind of have to address it. And if we don't address it, then we're just going to have this very heavy karmic debt as a burden that we carry through life. And we're not here to constantly be frustrated or painfully repeat these negative patterns that keep continually being brought up in our life, in our relationships. And, you know, usually all of these patterns are addressed through romantic relationships. And I've noticed, you know, a lot of people, you know, that are healers talk about, you know, why do we address relationships all the time? Well, relationships is how we fulfill these karmic lessons. And, you know, and we're not here to keep failing to learn these lessons when it comes to our South Node. So the energy is suggesting that you're going to be ready to learn a good dose of lessons in the energies today. And this can always come out in a positive way, but it's really going to highlight any constricting aspects in your life that have left you limited due to any pessimistic energies, especially when it comes to old wounding. So if you want to break free from the past, you kind of have to look at those energies. We can't change and evolve by avoiding taking accountability. So I think get ready to look at any rigid habits or outlooks and where you need to kind of remove yourself from that energy in order to reach a place of acceptance. Many of us on the journey go through long periods of time of isolation and feeling detached from people, places, and things. But we cannot keep ignoring our spiritual duties when it comes to our life purpose. We all have a life purpose. So if you are feeling stuck in the past or stubbornly wanting to stay stuck in the past, we're kind of being asked to break free from that karmic bondage, to break free from these old mindsets if we want to have those long-lasting, meaningful connections in our lives. So all of this energy too is going to be dependent on the house placement of your own Saturn in your natal chart. So you know, although this is a general energy, it's all gonna really affect you personally, depending on, you know, your personal Saturn placement and where it falls in the housing chart. So, you know, we can't keep playing into these negative attitudes of the past, because that's when we're stuck in this prison cell of our own making. So the energy might feel very gloomy and pessimistic today. You might, you know, fall into like this self-pity party, and I encourage you not to. Do whatever you can to kind of shift the energy. But we do kind of got to sit in this energy long enough to understand these negative circumstances, especially when it comes to past life energy or our early childhood, because our childhood patterns likely have created some sort of restricted cyclical pattern, creating a cynical worldview. And I dipped really, really low last night. I had a huge emotional release, and I'm so thankful for a very close male friend of mine that has always been there for me over the last several months. And you know, we were both in agreement, like, the world is just an awful place right now. All you see is darkness, people lashing out, people, you know, being very selfish and abusive. And you know, as empaths, it can really weigh heavy on your heart and on your chest. And so it's okay to go into those low moments. And that's where we kind of develop our strength when it comes to breaking free from these restrictions. So I encourage you not to play into any opposition with others today. Walk away. You can be firm in your boundaries, and you can do that with love. Although last night I had to put some very firm boundaries up with a neighbor that has harassed me and my family for several years, along with his granddaughter at my daughter's school. So it was a very aggressively charged energy last night. So I'm sure other people in the collective were dealing with some sort of battle of some sort, whether it was internally or externally. And you know, we really need to learn respect for people's boundaries, and it's about taking responsibility for poor behavior. And I think that's what really triggers me the most, is people that, you know, are very negative and very combative, and yet they have no accountability, and they always, you know, shift the blame game. And we're kind of here to step into self-mastery. Nobody is to blame for any shortcomings in your life. We all have the power to stand in our truth. So I think the energy is asking us to be precise with all of our communications, and to, you know, come forward with a little bit of class. Although my Mercury in Aries last night definitely brought the raging bull out, without a doubt. As a mother, you know, when you hurt my children, that is a huge, huge trigger for me. So, you know, we're here to release competition and not allow these negative people to touch us in any way, shape, or form when it comes to our energy field. A really good crystal to work with in the energies today, because it is so heavy, would be onyx, or any type of like a protective stone like black tourmaline or black obsidian. And I don't have any close by to grab. But get your energy protected today, because this is a very heavy energy, and it is going to create a lot of reflection of the past, because we can't move beyond these comfort zones without having that deep inner reflection of, you know, this relationship between the past and the future, because nothing ever is separate on the journey. So, you know, the lunar nodes always represent, the north node anyway, represents the pathway of our soul's evolutionary journey. And we're here to break free from that south node, that comfort zone. So You know, your North Node plays a huge role in your natal chart when it comes to what your soul longs to go towards in this life. So my North Node is in Leo. So my calling in this life was to step out from being in the crowd and to put my message out there in whatever creative aspects I felt called to do, which is what I do now for the collective. So we all have a deep inner calling, and the South Node is really the direction we need to move away from. So when it comes to the North and the South Node, so there's always the yin and the yang. So the opposite of Leo would be Aquarius, and Aquarius is a very humanitarian energy. So in a past life, I was highly dedicated to humanitarian efforts, but I always stayed in the background. So this life, I'm asked to take those South Node energies and bring that out and to voice that publicly. And my North Node is also in my 6th house of career, which is also in Leo. So I'm here to kind of stand out about, out of the crowd. So with these South Node patterns that we're being asked to move away from, these are default patterns that we inherited from our past lives. We can never ever cut those cords to our past lives. The past needs to be acknowledged and worked through if we are to step into our future self, if we are to step forward into our greatest potential this life. So this is an extremely important aspect when it comes to the evolution of humanity today. No matter what your North Node is, even though the North Node is in Taurus, we're all going to feel this. And with the North Node in Taurus, along with Mercury and the Sun in Taurus, this is all about grounded accountability. It's all about what do you value in your life. Taurus values love, solid relationships. Taurus values loyalty. So the energy is calling us all to this place of self-development, to use these South Node talents and resources to break down these false ego structures in our life that are no longer serving us, in order for us to step into being these conscious co-creators with God source energy and to create the best version of ourselves this life. So in order to do this, we have to develop strong spiritual strength. We have to have structure and order in our lives, and we need to embrace self-discipline. So if you're feeling stuck on the journey, and many of us go through cycles of feeling stuckness, then I think you're encouraged to look at that South Node and to understand what's not quite right with that South Node pattern. Because the psyche is always going to try to convince you to stay in that comfort zone, that comfort zone is good enough. But deep down in our heart, with my Leo energy, there's always this stronger pull towards something more, and you might not quite know what that purpose is yet. And if you would like to explore that, I do encourage you to book a full personal reading with me in order to get you unstuck and to figure out what your true lunar purpose is this life. Although many of us aren't quite sure what we need to do to move towards it, it's all about taking that step into the void, as scary or as frightening as it is to step into this new unknown energy. So I did talk about this on the community tab this morning, so if you want to go check that out. But I want you to do some reflection today, or at least the energy wants you to do some reflection and ask yourself some very important questions. You might want to grab a pen and paper and write these questions down and really sit and journal the truth about these energies coming through. So are you living in the past? Are you living in the present? Or are you living in the future? Because really, the past no longer exists. The future hasn't happened yet. All we really have is the present moment. So do you live in the past, the present, or the future? Do you play small, or are you willing to take chances in life? When we play small, then we feel we're not worthy of everything that we deserve, and we're here to take those chances. And you know, not every leap of faith is going to work out, but it's going to give you the courage to know that, hey, I can try to expand and do something different. So you might want to ask yourself in the energies today, am I self-disciplined enough to make progress towards all of my goals? And to get grounded in a daily spiritual practice will allow you to progress on the journey towards self-development. Are you scattered and uncommitted? Many of us fear stepping into the commitment of the spiritual journey because it takes a lot of deep self-reflection. It takes you looking in the mirror, understanding these patterns and understanding what doesn't work in any areas of your life in order to overcome any insecurities. So have you explored your fullest potential that you are capable of being? And, you know, and the journey of growth never ever stops. There's always something more to expand upon. So how can you truly get to that true lunar north node, to your karmic mission, to your karmic pathway this life? What has been left unresolved from the past that needs to be addressed, that needs, you know, where you need to take accountability for, and the energy is kind of feeling like now or never. So another question, how can you appreciate your uniqueness? None of us are the same. There's no two people the same. We are all individually unique. And can you look at your own uniqueness and see the beauty that that holds? And can you actually look in the mirror and say, I am enough? And if you haven't noticed, I've been doing the I Am Enough series, and that will be continued over the next week or so. So ask yourself this too, where is there clutter in my life? Is your physical environment filled with clutter? Because our physical environment is always a reflection of our internal world. Like, is your living space cluttered? Because if your living space is cluttered, then there's got to be a lot of clutter and baggage and repressed emotions on your heart. Is there clutter within your relationships? Maybe it's time to consider a new career path. Are you feeling stuck in your career path? Are you having issues with your health? And how do you get rid of this clutter once and for all so it doesn't keep allowing you to fall back into these pessimistic energies? So let's jump in with some cards and see what needs to come through. I am going to start off with the Illumination Oracle deck, and oh my God, I don't know if you can see it. The light's really bright. It's actually pouring rain out here today. So we get accusation and divorce. So that's very heavy. I think there's accusations in false contracts coming up. There's a lot of endings. We are closing out all of these negative karmic cycles when it comes to relationships. And I feel if you've been staying stuck in a relationship that you know is really not meant for you, that you're stuck in, I think get ready for some explosive accusations in the energy today to kind of get you unstuck. If you're in a relationship that constantly triggers you, then I think you need to ask yourself, why? Why are you playing into that energy? Maybe you need to seek out some counseling, a therapist, a spiritual healer of some sort. But I do think, you know, maybe you might need to ask for some guidance, because there's a lot of growth and expansion in the energies, and we're still feeling that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction throughout the week. And look at that, major karmic cycles, major karmic lessons are being learned. If you want growth and expansion in your life, and if you want to call in that high vibration life partner, you're really going to have to go into the depths of the shadows and show yourself compassion. Because we are preparing to manifest these high vibration divine unions, you know, and I'm going to do a video about that too, what it entails to call in a divine counterpart. But right now, I think we're all being asked to ask for that guidance if you need it. Sometimes we need a little bit of help along the journey. If you're in a committed partnership struggling with toxic patterns or substance abuses, perhaps it's time to expand beyond that at this point in time. And you know, codependency is never, ever healthy. If you feel like you can't live without that person, then there's something inside of you that needs to be addressed when it comes to any codependent issues, because nothing outside of us ever can give us that sense of fulfillment if we cannot find that on our own first. So major karmic lessons, and we're kind of breaking free from all of these past life karmic cycles, all of these past life karmic timelines. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to unlock the baggage on our heart and to open up the doorway to this new experience. So let's grab some, what deck is this? The Quantum Oracle deck. So yeah, you know, somebody's definitely in a connection riddled with deception, and maybe you fear walking away because maybe there's gossip, there's all kinds of people talking, whispering behind the scenes. You might be dealing with a master manipulator, but there's going to be an event, a shakeup of some sort when it comes to exposing this deception, because we're calling in those new supportive connections. We're calling in those high vibration friendships, relationships, and soulmate connections. But in order to do that, we have to break free from deception. And that might even be self-deception. So where are you needing to get really honest with yourself? Because somebody has hidden motivations in your life. Somebody's really not on your team. And I think it's kind of time for that exposure to come full circle. So we'll see what needs to come through with this deck. And then we're going to jump in with some tarot. And those just flipped on the floor. I can't really see them yet. So have to give me a minute, guys. We'll see. One more time, they said. We'll see what comes through with the Quantum Oracle deck. But I know we are in the precipice of preparing for this eclipse season. And it is like a reevaluation of all of our friends, all of our colleagues, our social structures, and breaking free from this consciousness of lack. So it's time to break free from a commitment that may be assigned under duress. And until all of this comes into our conscious awareness, we can't really make these changes. So I do feel a karmic soul contract is coming to a close. Maybe a long-standing committed partnership. And this really has created a deep sense of lack in your life. Maybe you got a lot of financial stability, but somebody's bankrupt on the heart. And I always think of Michael Jackson when I see that energy of, like, you know, him doing the moonwalk. And what I'm hearing is the man in the mirror. Maybe you should have a listen to that song, The Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, because if you want to make the world a better place, take a look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror. And what can you do to transform your life? Because if we are to embrace global efforts and global changes, we all have to individually transform our lives. And, you know, money isn't the end-all be-all. Yes, money makes the world go round. But we're here to live out of our heart space, to live a life of compassion and kindness. I think somebody is encouraged to leave a very toxic relationship behind. I feel an expansion in consciousness. Somebody's been playing the martyr, playing the victim, maybe even playing into punishment of some sort. I'm being shown the Hanged Man. And I think maybe it's time to learn something new about yourself with the books. Instead of sitting there sulking, why don't you dig a little bit deeper and understand what you can do to shift out of that energy? Because we're manifesting these kindred soulmate partnerships. But it might require traveling. It might require packing up and moving homes, relocating. If you are to call in these new supportive connections, because somebody's dealing with a social structure riddled with deception. I feel, you know, we're not here to just party and drink with people all the time and gossip about people behind their back. A true friend is never going to laugh at your struggles. So I think a major reevaluation of a social structure, friends, colleagues, family, and who's been deceiving you, who's been talking about you behind your back. Because, you know, these soulful connections that we're manifesting, we're here to support one another and to be there for one another, to step into this new creative, conscious, co-creative endeavor with the universe. So what are you here to create in your life? Because looks like the slate is clean. It's a blank canvas and you can manifest anything you want in your life. But there's things that you're going to have to release. You're going to have to let go of people, places, and things. Maybe it's time to slam the door on the past, but you're first going to have to acknowledge it first if you want to walk through the doorway of this new experience and to call in those family and friends and guides that are truly meant for you. If you want to step into this optimistic energy, you cannot keep playing it safe. You cannot keep staying in that comfort zone. And maybe you might need to seek some professional assistance, some legal advice, some counseling, some therapy as you break free from a commitment that's created all kinds of lack in your life. Where are you needing to take back your present power when it comes to this releasing energy? So let's jump in with some tarot. I knew the reading was going to be heavy. So 8 of Coins, 8 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the Tower. So there is a breakdown of all of these false beliefs. There is a breakdown of a false connection, a breakdown of a false foundation that was riddled in lies, deception, an old mindset, an old pattern. And it's really time to think about, what is it that I want to put the work in? What is it that I want to master this life? And what is it that I need to walk away from that's really prevented me from stepping into joy, compassion, and fulfillment? And like I said, it might require packing up and moving homes. And if you're not willing to embrace the changes, the universe always seeks to restore balance in our lives. And when you choose to stay stuck where you know you're not happy and you're living like this emotionally bankrupt life, the universe comes in and smacks you with that tower for a wake-up call to shake things up a bit. So there is a need to look at what's emotionally depleting you, what's stagnating you, what's keeping you stuck, and to realize that it's time to move away from that once and for all, because somebody's been in a partnership where there's been a lot of combating energy, there's been a lot of gossip, there's been a lot of drama, arguing and fighting. And I think somebody here is being encouraged to quickly depart a situation. We have the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So could be dealing with a fire sign. It doesn't have to be, or scorpionic energy with that tower, I feel. But it's kind of time to get up and go. Get up and go in a new direction and embrace something new. Finally laying down these burdens of the past and learning these patterns and these lessons once and for all. So I do feel there's a lot of illumination coming through. There's that Leo energy. When it comes to a new creative endeavor, a new spark, a new passion being ignited. But you're going to have to face all of the ghosts of the past first if you want to step into this brand new experience. And you're going to have to allow the energy to illuminate to you what's not working if you want to climb the ladder to success. Because somebody here is dealing with a liar, a thief, a manipulator, and maybe you're going to have to find your inner strength to break free from this toxic situation. So let's keep going. The Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Coins, the Death reversed. Quit resisting this change. It's time to unveil who you truly are behind that mask. If you want authentic connections, then you have to be brave enough to step into accountability and authenticity, because, you know, the Death reversed. We got the Wheel of Fortune. So there's destined change coming. And this death energy can no longer be resisted. And that's that Scorpionic South Node right now that's in, you know, that Scorpio South Node coming to the surface. Death, rebirth, transformation. And it takes rigorous honesty. You can't keep living in this lack mentality of regret, remorse, and guilt and shame. If you want to heal the past once and for all, you're going to have to address what you've not been willing to look at. If you want to rise from the ashes like the phoenix, it's going to take a lot of hard work and planning. And there's that towards the bull energy. What do you value? What do you value? Because I think we're opening up our senses beyond the five senses. I'm being shown third eye chakra activations. So when you're shown the pathway forward, you kind of got to break free from this lack energy, from this grieving energy, you know, this extended period of grieving. And so many of us repeat these negative cycles in relationships over and over again. And maybe the time is now to get rigorously honest. There's also the possibility of something coming back from the dead that maybe you thought was long dead and gone. There is passion being reignited when it comes to maybe a past soulmate connection and a brand new beginning in love. But you can't keep sitting on the fence. You can't keep juggling several options. You're going to have to be accountable for your actions. And you're going to have to go into these childhood patterns that no longer work and open up your heart to experience something new. So we'll see what's hidden below the surface. Page of Swords reversed. Two of Wands reversed, Two of Swords reversed. So yeah, I think get ready for some accusations. It's likely a message you're not going to want to hear. And let's face it, the truth does hurt sometimes. But you cannot stay stuck at this crossroads. Two of Wands reversed, Two of Swords reversed. Blocks are removed. Somebody's taken the rose-colored glasses off. I don't think, you know, you've openly communicated about this in a long time. And get ready to get the rug pulled out from under you, because this stuckness needs to be released. And somebody here is going into the depths of their emotions, King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and needing to face their inner demons. If you want stability in your life, you're going to have to open up your heart, and you're going to have to be grounded and stable and solid. And the energy is asking you to be a sobering being on your own first and foremost before coming forward with that love offer. There's likely going to be an unexpected choice in love today. The Lovers is always a choice between two, and isn't that interesting? It kind of looks like the Beauty and the Beast energy. And we all know that story of Beauty and the Beast. The Beast was not willing to open up his heart, but Belle never gave up on him. She saw the beauty in who he truly was behind the Beast. And maybe there's somebody that, you know, is going into their inner beast and shedding all of these negative vices, needing to make an unexpected choice in love when it comes to this Empress energy. There's a beautiful feminine energy here. She's prayed for love in her life. She's healed her heart. She's standing firm in her boundaries. Taurus, Libra energy. She knows her worth. She knows her value. The Empress isn't going to chase somebody. The Empress sits there and waits because she knows her value. She knows her worth. She knows she's got a lot of love to give. And she's not going to settle for anything less than what she deserves. So I do feel somebody wants to come in for a union of some sort. They want that stable foundation with this Empress. And maybe in the past, they had a lot of options. And maybe they chose the wrong option. And maybe it's time to be accountable and to come forward with an apology of some sort. If you want happiness in your life, it's going to take rigorous honesty and accountability. If you want that deep spiritual union and that solid foundation, you're going to have to get in the driver's seat and go in a new direction. You're going to have to gather up your emotions. You're going to have to, you know, take control of your life. Usually only the Emperor, the Empress rides in the chariot. And you're going to have to go towards healing. And you're going to have to embrace that leap of faith. You're going to have to jump without really knowing what's on the other side. The Fool leaves all of this past baggage behind. So I feel a rebirth of a connection, and there is going to be victory here, but it's going to take an apology. And maybe it's going to take a lot of grounded effort to restore a sense of balance, because I feel somebody's withheld communication for a long time. And the energy is saying the time is now for this rebirth through fire. If you want these higher level of commitments, if you want to build a legacy for your life and to have all of your wishes fulfilled, it's going to take some grounded action, and you're going to have to take that first step to climb the ladder to success. Somebody is being divinely guided to be accountable and to break free from a commitment that's no longer working, to go towards a true life partnership. And that's kind of what I see in the energies. More Taurus energy, fire, earth. We pretty much got everybody here. So where are you needing to look at your life? Where have you chose people that make you feel small, gaslight you, belittle you? Because we're here to choose people that love and support us. And if somebody is in your circle that doesn't love and support you, then that isn't your soul family. And it's time to seek out those new supportive connections. So we'll see what other messages Spirit has for the collective today. Yeah, you need to get honest with yourself about what is really going on. Take those rose-colored glasses off, take the blinders off, and get rigorously accountable with yourself. Really look at your situation and ask yourself, how do I see myself in this situation? Because self-awareness will always allow you to gain that new perspective. And you need to become aware of people and circumstances in your life that are just serving as a spiritual test of your strength and your will. Are you able to stay in high vibration and show the world how bright you can shine? And I know my light triggers a lot of people. And journal. Journal about those questions that I asked you, because you might come into an epiphany that you didn't quite know before. And get rigorously honest with yourself. Because, you know, on the journey, sometimes we get so lost in these negative connections. And we're all kind of being asked to return to ourselves, to nurture ourselves like the Empress nurtures, and to give yourself that breathing room to be able to become aware of all of this negativity in your life, and to truly understand that vulnerability, emotional vulnerability, is a very good quality to have. It's a strength. It's not a weakness. And this is such an auspicious time for the collective. Saturn brings that gifty. When you learn the lesson, if you've done the work, if you've really done the work, get ready to receive the rewards for your efforts, because happiness and prosperity is around the corner. But you're going to have to stay in that positive mindset. You're going to have to stay in positive vibration if you want that amazing positive impact. And that's what I have for a collective message today. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin flame reading with me, please feel free to check out that description box below, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.